I have to get down, otherwise my voice is, I think, a normal voice, but for this character, I go down usually, and I have a stronger accent.
I'm
Anyone?
gonna cry.
No,
Oh my
God. So we have Dolya, Zarya's voice actress, is sitting next to me right now.
Welcome back to Overthink, the game show where I ask contestants a series of Overwatch hot takes to see where they stand. Feel free to play along in the comments to let me know what your opinions are on these hot takes. And if you'd like to actually be on an episode, go ahead and sign up in my Discord. I host these live on my Twitch channel most Sundays, so please go follow me on there to catch a show live. And lastly, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more content like this. We're going to do this first half of the Overthink like normal, and then after that, I have a little surprise, a little guest that's going to be co-hosting the rest of the Overthink with me. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I hope you guys are as well. But let's get started. I have felt the need to use a masculine or gender-neutral name to avoid harassment. Go. Interesting. There's a lot more people in agree that I thought would be.
So when I first swapped to PC, this is my first PC game. Being a bad player, or like a new player, and having a feminine voice and being on tank is a pretty bad combo.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think of like masculine names. I was really into Pokemon, and when I wanted to swap, I was gonna do Cynthia, and then I did like Cyrus instead. And I just got so sick of not being able to talk in games because it's so fun. Like when you run into someone that's talking, you feel more comfortable talking, and it's so much fun. And like I would wait and queue over and over and try to find someone that would like talk, and then I just like decided I was sick of it and I wanted to be that person, and I got comfortable with it, and then I changed my in-game name to like my actual name, which is a more feminine name. So I kind of got over it, but when I swapped, I was really scared. I like didn't even play Zarya because people can see your tracking, and I would get nervous that they would make fun of me or like think less of me because my beam was missing.
And now you're Zarya queen, so. Fariha, I saw that you snuck from the disagree to the agree. Did you change your mind, or did you accidentally go to the wrong place?
Wait, is this the agree box?
Yes.
Yes.
Where are you trying to go?
I had it right from the start. Okay.
So, on the internet, when I first created my account, I actually went by the name Simon, which was one of my favorite books character's name. And the reason I chose that was because, you know, I'm just really scared of presenting myself as feminine online, but now I don't really care. And my first original Overwatch username was, I don't know if you guys watch Ready Player One, the character H. That was my first username actually on Overwatch when I first created the account, because I love the concept of like being a girl, but also hiding behind like a different name that isn't the same. So I kind of really resonated with that character, and that was my first original name pretty much for the platform. But because, you know, I don't really play support, I just prefer DPS, but a lot of guys don't like girls playing DPS. So it's just something that I thought would be more beneficial for me.
Yeah, that's so sad that like we're kind of having to even do that. Like I have mine as Rain. For the longest time, I just changed it to ChristalRaine. And even the amount of sexism I've gotten just since changing it to ChristalRaine from Rain, which is pretty like gender neutral, in the week that I've changed it is kind of ridiculous.
The reason I didn't go into like the fully agree was the only time I do it, like present as like, you know, as a non-feminine name, is if I feel like I have to like go incognito. Like sometimes I've changed my main account to different names, or I've changed alt accounts to different names so that I can play without like the fear of being like harassed. But yeah, somewhat agree, because it's like I only do it sometimes.
The reason why I don't go by any gender neutral name is because I've always gone by just more feminine names. And I'm also Sky, I'm a Sky too. So it's pretty neutral as is, but I just have this concept that the second I talk, speak, or who I play, I'm always gonna get harassment no matter what. So I'd rather just kind of deal with it front on in a sense, or just have my name there, because I just want to actually be known as, I want those to know that I'm a girl and that I do play games and that I can kick their butts in game as well. So it just gives me that confidence boost to go by a feminine name.
It's like empowering.
Yeah, it's the empowering aspect of it.
I have been regarded as inferior to my male counterparts, even in situations where I am more qualified than them. Go. Wow. There's not even enough room to fit all of you on there. That is crazy. I'm
so sad seeing this. Okay, that's
I
okay.
was doing a collaboration with like this big streamer, and we were doing essentially a coaching session where we spectate as like the little angel on the shoulder of a bronze team, and we both had to lead our teams to victory. And so it was like pure shot calling, it was pure strategizing and like gassing these players up so that you could see them shine. And I was having the time of my life. But the thing is, I went back to watch the VOD, and the people in this guy's chat, they were saying like, oh my god, she's such a natural leader. She would make such a good mom. Someone should put a baby in her. And it was just those comments of getting reduced to my uterus, and it felt so bad to read, because in that moment I was like, wow, there is no amount or like no achievement that I can get in this game that would mean that I'm good enough to just contend.
That is, I'm so sorry. That is ridiculous. Oh my gosh, that didn't even go where I thought it was gonna go. I was like, wait, they're hyping you up? That's so good. And then I thought they were gonna like say bad things about you, but what they said is arguably worse. And I think the worst part is that they probably thought that they were being so nice and like uplifting about it. But
I thought it was a compliment.
Yeah.
No, it felt so bad to read.
I feel like this is something a lot of other women have probably experienced as well, but when it comes to gaming on its own, making a really, really good play and not being recognized for that, or a male on your team also making a play at the same time, and him getting hyped up before you are even seen for anything that you did well, is just really demotivating.
I just wanted to bring in like an anecdote from earlier today. So like this was pretty recent. So I was playing on one of my alt accounts, and it's like a very classic, like almost ironically girly username. So it was like XXBunnyXX, right? And I was playing Sojourn, and I was doing really good. Like I won an entire team fight, got played the game. But then after that really good play, someone on the enemy team just typed, "Oh, she got big bro to play." Like it's kind of like undermining me and saying that like there isn't a possibility for me to be a girl and play well.
I hate that. Like, okay, so how many of us have like had that same experience? Because I know I have.
I have.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have.
I've had somebody be sexist to me in game. Like as soon as the game started, they heard me speak, and I was playing Zarya. And then once the game started, I was doing so well. I was like carrying the whole team, and they're like, "Oh, she must have gotten her boyfriend to start playing." And it's like, are we for real? Like, you put me down before the game starts, assuming that I'm gonna be bad because I'm a woman. But then when you see that I'm doing good, then it's like, oh, must be her boyfriend playing. And it's just ridiculous how we've all had this like same shared experience. I've been told that I have only achieved what I have due to being a woman. This can mean your Overwatch rank, success as a streamer, success as a esports player, however you interpret this, go. The fact that not a single person is on the disagree side of the spectrum is so heartbreaking.
My experience with this is that I started my streaming career 3 years ago, and as a small streamer, I was constantly told that I would get follows, likes, and chatters due to my appearance and not because of my personality, who I am as a person, my dedication, and my work ethic. So it was really disheartening that a lot of even my male friends had said that, and they constantly told me that I needed to have a webcam on. And I'm actually a faceless streamer after 3 years, and I continue to be a faceless streamer because of it, because I don't want comments about my appearance, and I don't want that to be the main focus. And yeah, I don't stream for guys to make comments about me and what I look, and I just stream to be entertaining to others and uplift other women as well, and yeah, just have a safe space. But yeah, I've been told that a lot since starting my streaming career, kind of. So yeah.
I'm so sorry. I feel like if you're a faceless streamer, then they say like, oh, it must be because you're ugly. But then if you have a webcam, then it's like, oh, you're just using your looks to get places. And it's like, I just feel like you can never win. And
no,
it's
never
very sad.
win.
If you're in the game and if you have any hours at all on Mercy, which is considered a girly character, like you're accused of being boosted. Like at one point, my DPS was higher than my support rank. But despite that, I got accused of being boosted by like a DPS duo or something like that, even even though diamond itself is not a very high rank, but it's like, oh, you're a girl, how can you even get diamond on your own, which is so silly.
Oh, it always irritates me when I do these like girl overthinks, because these are all such issues that, like, I don't know if I'm crazy, but for some reason, like, I've experienced all of this stuff, but I'm always like, oh, you know, maybe I've just experienced the bad end. But to see how like all of this stuff has happened to almost all of us here, it's just like, this is way more common than I think anybody realizes. And I don't know, it makes me so sad, because it shouldn't be. This shouldn't be like such a common occurrence, you know, just for us wanting to play video games.
For a long time now that I've been streaming, I don't really use Facecam except for rare occasions, but I've been playing Mercy since 2016 and I've achieved high ranks with her. And I hear a lot of stuff like, oh, you're boosted and your boyfriend must have gotten you there, and like, I solo and duo. I've soloed to peaks before, but it's always like, even when I'm playing by myself, people say stuff like that. It's just very annoying.
We have one more question before I bring on a special guest. I regularly receive harassment in-game and or in the gaming community just for being a woman. Go. This is so sad.
It feels like anytime you exist in VC and you have a feminine voice, it's like anything you say can be used against you. If you're in a duo with someone with a masculine voice and you stand up for them, you're like no longer having a conversation with the person that was playing them. It's just, oh, is that your boyfriend? Oh, you guys are so cute together. But if you're in a duo with someone with a feminine voice and they're getting harassed and you stand up to them, it's, oh, two girls, GG, go next, guys. And it's like, I'm sure everyone here has gotten the, oh, how old are you? Or are you a little boy? But then I'm sure you've also gotten like, oh, are you faking your voice? Like, are you trying to sound cute? It's like, there's no way that you, like, no words that you say, you're just like down to your voice sometimes. It's so sad.
I actually had someone throw my game earlier today. They threw because it was me. So usually it is because like I'm high elo girl or whatever. But like they just instantly started running it down. They had 20 deaths for 10 on Doom on King's Row. Very fun. They were like lying in match chat, being like, oh, I'm lagging. And then at the end of the game, they were like, now we're even, Megatron or whatever. And I'm like, I don't even know what I did, or, you know, I like recognize the account. I just don't think they like me. They're usually like those kind of people that are like, oh, go Mercy, or like, oh, you're boosted, things like that. Like that's like something that just literally happened today. But I've had people tell me horrible things, like, you know, unaliving myself. I've been told to go make a sandwich. I don't understand that insult ever, but I've been told that many times. Like, comments on my age and like my looks. I've had like back in the early days when I would grind, I had people threaten to throw my games until I gave them my Snapchat or Discord. Like, they would literally just not play the game. They would just be like, can I have your Discord? What's your number? Oh my God, you're like, please, like, you know, please do it with me after this and that. Like, it's just, it's constant, endless, I swear.
I think the higher rank you are as a woman, the more it kind of like pisses off some of the people. I noticed that when Aspen was trying to go for ranked 1, there were so many men who were just like, they made it their mission to make sure it didn't happen. And it's like, okay, where is that effort when what's his name, Yazan or whatever, the Farah player, he has like 47 accounts that have been ranked 1 through 47. Where are you guys trying to gatekeep him from doing that? You know what I mean? It's like, why do you suddenly put in the energy to gatekeep when it's a woman trying to get rank 1, but men get rank 1 all the time and nobody ever bats an eye? And it's really gross.
So I feel like I stay here based on my own personal experiences, but I've noticed that it really differs depending on your voice or how you present to other people or other people in games. So like I've experienced the typical sexist stuff, but I don't think to the same degree that like my friends who have like a more feminine leaning voice would like experience, where like I'm not really afraid to join voice and talk, because like I know I sound like a girl, but sometimes I feel like most people just brush it off as like little boy and they wouldn't bother me as much. So I think it's like, it really depends on how you are portrayed, and I kind of don't experience as much as my friends who have a higher voice. Yeah,
I feel like the higher the voice you are, the more like icky of comments you get. Like, I feel like it gets very like gross and kind of like sexual almost when they're like, oh, baby girl, because you have like a high-pitched voice. Whereas if you have like a just like a normal feminine voice, then a lot of the time it's just like the harassing, like this gross kind of demeaning stuff.
All right, we have a guest. You want to say hi?
Hi everyone.
Say hi.
Oh my god!
I need a paper bag.
Wait,
I'm
that's
gonna
not
have to
anybody
wait.
recognize this voice and who this is.
I have to get down, otherwise my voice is, I think, a normal voice, but for this character, I go down usually, and I have a stronger accent.
I'm
Anyone?
gonna cry.
No,
So we have Dolya, Zarya's voice actress, is sitting next to me right now. You guys might be wondering why.
Oh my god.
So she is at my house with a film crew because she is recording a documentary that I am super lucky to be in.
Oh yeah, I'm doing a documentary on female gamers, and I'm very excited to be here and to hear, to hear about your experiences and so on. And as the voice of Zarya, I'm telling you, women should not be harassed.
Yeah.
All right, so she'll be asking the next few questions.
We need more diverse female representation.
Go. Yeah, everyone agrees. I told you they would.
Would you like to make any comments on that? What kind of female representation maybe you're missing or you like?
I believe it's really important, especially as a woman, to see more diversity across different regions, because not everybody looks the same. And from appearance-wise to characteristics, there are a lot of facial features that are different across the world, even from different body types as well. And I believe that's really important to see in the gaming scene.
I can speak on it as an artist. Yeah, so from a character design perspective, I feel like this is something Overwatch does well, because we have such a wide range of silhouettes, like Orisa and Zarya. They look really different from what we see in other games, and I feel like more video games should be open to having their female characters just not always look conventionally attractive, which is what I think happens most of the time. Like male characters are given a really wide range of character designs, and sometimes female characters are put into a box and they always have to look sexy or attractive, but I feel like slowly that's maybe changing.
Yes, it is changing, I think, but also, I find interesting the complex characters. Zarya is super strong, but then she has pink nail polish. I think we are not one-dimensional, and I think often, whether even a man or a woman, people are often represented as sort of not with that kind of diverse kind of character traits.
So I think that Overwatch does such a great job of including just older characters too. Like, what other game are you going to see an old Arabic grandma that you can play and is like beloved by all? I don't think you have that in any other game, and I think that's what makes Overwatch so special.
Yeah, that's very important, and I think the age is another area, isn't it? And also in other media as well. Often as an actor, you either play, there is a kind of a 20s, the kind of, you can do the kind of sexy, attractive woman or desirable, or then you become a mother. Things are changing, but slowly.
Just a small personal pet peeve, because I'm from Thailand, and every Asian character in video games are always super light-skinned, look super East Asian, and it kind of generalizes a lot about what Asians can look like, because not every Asian is just light-skinned, right? And there's a lot of people from different places like India, Southeast Asia, that never really get too much representation in other games as well. So, like Neon from Valorant is like Filipino, that's something that's changing. It's really cool, and it shows that more Asian people look different than just, the generic East Asian look, which I'm not saying is bad, but it's always great to have more diversity and resonate with a lot more people, for sure.
So I mostly play Zarya. I almost only play Zarya, and when I pick her and I see her on the screen, and even when I hear her spawning in voice lines when she says together we're strong, it sounds silly, but when I'm nervous in my games and I see her and she's strong and I hear her and she's strong, it's inspiring. And I feel like everyone deserves to have a hero that they find some sort of comfort and safety in like that.
Yeah, definitely. I've been talking to many gamers about that, and heroes are important. They help us move forward, or ideals, or idols.
Stereotype that women mostly play support because it is seen as feminine and easy is usually true. Go.
I chose neutral because I am a little bit, well, in the neutral, just since based on experience, when I first started playing Overwatch, I actually was a diva main, and I was actually kind of forced myself to in the support role based on the fact that men or guys in general already expect me to play support. They expect me to play this quote-unquote easy character. They expect me to just like heal bot them and just sit there and look pretty for them. So I kind of forced myself into that role in general, but I believe that a lot of women do play support because they're expected to. They're forced into it, not necessarily if they want to, because if they venture out of that, they are always told to go back to support, even if they don't play support. But then there are a lot of women that do thoroughly enjoy playing support like myself and have found that love there and comfort. So that's why I'm in the neutral stance for this.
I've been online gaming since I was 12, and I started by playing League of Legends, and obviously there's a support role in that game. I don't think women necessarily gravitate towards the role because it's easy. I don't think support is easy at all, as most of us know if we've played it. I just think there is this weird stigma that women are better off playing that role. As I said, I grew up playing League, and when a female friend of mine would say that they played jungle or played mid, or in this game, DPS or tank, it was almost like it was surprising to males. So it is just a really interesting concept, and I do love that a lot of my female friends do branch out into those roles, because I think women empowerment is really, really important, and we don't just fit into a box in the support category.
I guess I don't fully disagree, because I do like my feminine side, and I there are a lot of supports that are feminine. So like I don't fully disagree, because I do kind of, yes, I gravitate a little bit towards that, like towards the character design aspect of it, but I gravitated towards support role not because it was easy, but because it wasn't just like point and click. I feel like the other roles are, at least DPS anyway, at the time I'm very bad at tank. But like between DPS and support, it was always, I'm not very like aggressive, but not saying that aggressive is hard or difficult. It's more just like a different kind of game. Support is more of like using your cooldowns strategically, things like that, right? Like you have to use more of your brain, and it's like a little bit of a passive playstyle.
So I think one of the things that a lot of people don't want to accept is that like the support role, like we just have fun playing it. It's not because it's easy. It's not because it's like this quote unquote feminine role, especially like with Mercy players. I love playing Mercy. Her movement's fun. It's way more fun than sitting there playing point and click simulator. And it's just a genuinely fun role for a lot of people, and I think people would rather view that as the easy thing than admit that people are having fun playing the game.
You guys can head back to the middle, and I also was asking Dolya if she's happy if Zarya is a tank. And sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
Well, I think there's something wholesome about her being a tank. Don't you agree?
I feel like it helps a lot with like breaking the stereotypes, but also providing like what Sky Speedsport was saying earlier about like it's almost like comforting and like empowering, like seeing Zarya, and she's just
Stable.
so strong, and she's just a strong, beautiful, amazing woman, and it's just great to see as somebody who Zarya is my most played hero of all time, and I just love seeing her on my screen, like Speedsport was saying.
You're Zarya too. I'm Zarya and you're
Yeah,
Zarya.
we're all Zarya. It's like the Spider-Man meme where they point at each other.
So I will read the next question.
Yes. Okay. In your best Zarya voice. Go ahead.
Certain female characters in the game empower me or make me feel represented. 3, 2, 1, now! Everyone agrees with
Everyone
me.
agrees.
Hi, so I'm actually Japanese, and I'm also a Kiriko main. And so when I first came to Overwatch, which is about like a year ago, I was like, oh my gosh, like not only does she have also the same hair as me because I have blue hair, but I was like, she sort of feels like me. And so when I play her, sometimes I feel like, man, I feel I'm so strong in that sense, because I like using Kiriko a little bit as a DPS as well. Some people don't like that, but I like being able to be like a little bit aggressive to show my aggressive side and everything. So I think it's really cool that like I feel like I'm represented a little bit more like in this game than other games, because like Japanese, the hair, and the fact that she's like so cute, like I love Kiriko. So yeah, I definitely feel that.
Yeah, representation is such a, I think, important thing. We all kind of want to be feel recognized in some ways, and I think characters or seeing images that empower us, or that are kind of part of us, or bigger versions of us, can mean a lot for our well-being, I think.
I feel like representation is important, but it's also important for game devs or just everybody in general to realize that, on the contrary, is really harmful. Like when, I don't know about you guys, but as a plus size disabled woman, when I load into a game and everybody is, you know, this beautiful, skinny, able-bodied woman that is, you know, a little emphasis on the sexualization, I can't relate to that, you know, and I don't expect every game to, you know, have a version that I can relate to in the game, but it is a little saddening, at least for me. I feel this way when, you know, I see these games and it's all just like very unrealistic, unattainable ideas of what they think women are or should be.
And it kind of spreads everywhere, Instagrams and so on, and I think it puts a lot of pressure and lots of it's not real half
and
of
that's part of what I really like about Overwatch, where we have a lot of diversity compared to most games in Overwatch. It makes me happy.
I think one thing that we've kind of picked up is like most of us are gravitating towards characters like we can somewhat relate to, whether it's just the fact that they're female or there's, you know, some sort of vibe or whatever that we relate to them with. Zarya is personally my favorite tank, so I'm super excited about all this. And that's partially like kind of like Crystal said, like I'm also like a plus size person, and I don't relate to a lot of the characters in a lot of video games. I think they're cute and I enjoy playing them. But to see Zarya as someone who's big and strong, and like you said, she also still has her pink nails, and she's no less feminine for how she looks and how she presents herself. I just think she makes me like, that makes me feel seen and like super at home. And I just feel so strong playing a character like that among such a diverse group of characters as well. So being able to see someone like you that you can actually relate to beyond just gender is so important.
Zarya has slightly, you know, bigger muscles than me.
Slightly.
Slightly. But she's, even playing her or doing her, you know, lines, one immediately feels better afterwards, you know, well, I do. And you know, the kind of a sense of certainty and stability she provides and gives. There's something very interesting, isn't it, about kind of becoming another character that can also be very inspiring, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I really love all of the characters in Overwatch, and when I was younger, I used to look up to like superheroes, right? But the thing with superheroes is that they're kind of unrelatable, and I think gaming really connects people with characters that are of similar backgrounds, which is great. And if I could tie it to an earlier question that we had, it's like a lot of the characters that we as women, I guess, relate to and feel empowered by, I guess we're just made by the game to be support characters. And, you know, there are characters like Diva, who is a tank, or Tracer, who is a DPS, where we also feel empowered by them and we play them because of that. And it's like people want to feel represented in games.
My legal name is actually Fariha, and it's wild because Farah's real name is Fariha, and seeing that she also has mommy issues, it's like, wow, there's that extra kind of connection there. But growing up, I didn't have a lot of media that I really saw myself in at all. It was really only just Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I held on to that show with everything I had because it made me feel so safe and secure in my identity. And the fact that young kids now have games like Overwatch that they can see people of color from all walks of life, it's so important. I don't think you realize how important it is until you grow up without it.
I love that you brought that up, because I remember when I was little, I would search for representation and there was really nothing. And I didn't realize at the time that that's what I was doing as a kid, because, you know, I was not, you know, that deep into my own thoughts like that. But I definitely gravitated towards Katara because I just see this like strong, like independent woman, and it's like she didn't need, you know, men to do things for her, or I guess boys or whatever. And I love that Avatar had that sort of representation when nothing during that time really did. And now I think it's a lot more prevalent, just, you know, in games and in media and everything like that. But I definitely cherish the shows that were kind of like the first ones to do that, like Avatar.
I guess to kind of preface this, I've got 7,000 hours in Mercy, and I spent a lot of my time making content on her and also talking about her as a character outside of her gameplay. And, you know, a lot of people are like, oh man, don't you get bored? Or I always hear things like, oh man, is Mercy like your only personality? But I think it's more so that I've never felt so connected to a character, not necessarily by like how you physically see them, but by how you mentally see them. And she's been such, it's so weird to think, like, it's been 7 years that she's been such a cornerstone in my life that inspires me and keeps me doing the things that I do despite how, like, exhausting it is, or how much you have to, all the things that you have to push through just to do the things that you'd like to do.
Well, yes, and life is not always easy, and we need some sort of things to help us to keep going. So it's wonderful you have found your character. I'm scared or hesitant to talk in voice chat. 3, 2, 1, now.
This is a lot more mixed than I thought it would be.
I actually, when I first started playing Overwatch, I actually did utilize voice chat, but then I had slowly stopped using voice chat because I noticed that I would constantly, it's become so normalized for men online to instantly say, oh, it's a girl, and even ask sexual questions towards me, or make it more about me being a woman than focusing on the game. Through my games, the instant they hear my voice, I've been called things like mommy in quotations by just random men online. I've been harassed just because of my voice and who I play. So it's really no win-win there for me personally, and it just makes me kind of uncomfortable, and I just would rather just not even join voice chat and just focus on my own gameplay and just do the best that I can. And yeah, because at the end of the day, I just want to play a character and I just want to play a game and enjoy myself, and I don't get on VC to hear men degrade me, berate me, ask me sexual questions and everything. So yeah.
Well, yeah, it's sad it is. But I think that they're doing more and more to prevent those things nowadays.
I talk a lot in voice chat and quick play because I feel less pressure there, but especially when I'm in ranked, I am more nervous to speak in voice comms. I usually try and read the room the best I can before speaking because the harassment usually comes once they hear my voice, but especially if I'm not performing to the best of my abilities, I feel even more pressured because I'm scared that I'm going to be berated for my gameplay. But then I realize even when I'm playing really, really well at the top of my game, they're gonna say the same things anyway. So I just do my best to speak in voice comms, and I try to be positive and lighthearted regardless, even if they're coming at me. But it is a shame that so many of us have to deal with this feeling.
Of course, but you can also maybe, I don't know, try it. Change the pitch of your voice. Keep on confusing them. When you hear that, you can go down, lower.
I could. I wish I could sound like you.
Oh yeah, you can. Everyone can go down as well, or up.
So you're not allowed to leave my house. You're just gonna stay in my house, and every time I play Zarya, you're gonna speak for me. And then if they harass me, I'll be like, "You're saying this to Zarya."
I'll be like, "It's just a tickle."
I do have a
wait,
question.
can you speak for me too when I'm playing?
I do have a question for all the girlies here. A little bit before I started stream today, I was in the car with Emma Lyeth. She's here today at my house as well. And my boyfriend and his best friend. And my boyfriend was telling me that he noticed when he plays by himself, he doesn't really ever hear girls speak in games. But whenever he plays with me and I speak, he said, suddenly I hear so many girls speak. And he said that, he's like, I didn't realize, but it's almost like they're scared to speak until there's another girl that's speaking, and it gives them comfort.
Yeah.
You guys relate to that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I have a habit of rizzing up people in Overwatch, and sometimes that's like complimenting support players, and so that's when I notice other girls will speak up.
Wait, let me. Do you want to explain what Riz is to Dolya?
Riz is short for charisma, so it's when you slide into their DM, so to speak, or when you try to, I don't know, like flirt a little.
Flirting. Smooth talk.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, and whenever I like compliment them, that's when they'll come out and speak as well. And I'm like, they never really speak up unless I do that, which is hilarious to me and also a little bit sad.
So, have you maybe because of this toxicity or which happens online, has anyone maybe found a certain then strength or a voice to fight back and become more confident because of it?
I used to.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that I was having this conversation with I think it was Zippy, right, Zippy?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Zippy was telling me when I was like, how do you handle toxicity? And she's like, it makes me want to cry. I want to cry myself to sleep after somebody's, you know, mean. And she was telling me, she was like, you're all so strong the way you handle it. And I'm like, no, it's not that we're strong. It's that the unfortunate reality is we're desensitized to it because we get it so much. Every time when I heard it at the start, it made me want to cry too. But now it's like I've heard every insult in the book. I've been told to go to the kitchen more times than I could count, like all these things. And it's like, I feel like there's no way that's like kind of strong to go about it. Like it like basically you're not weak for being upset about it. And I don't think that we're strong for not being upset about it. I just think it's very sad that at the end of the day, like it's something that we've kind of had to get used to. And I think that that's really heartbreaking. I think it's that we're all so kind of used to it, you know?
Of course. But it's so funny, I spoke to one gamer and her response is sometimes, there are knives in the kitchen.
Oh my god!
But can I add something onto that?
Of course, go ahead.
This is Sky. Earlier, I mentioned a little bit that like I would queue and I would wait for someone to talk because I had more fun in games when someone else was talking, and I decided I wanted to be that person, or I wanted to try to be that person for other people and for myself. And part of the reason has always been like when someone with a feminine voice spoke, I felt more comfortable, but I thought I was so weird for feeling that way, and it's so nice hearing that like you all feel that way too. Like I feel less weird now.
Oh no, for sure. Like when I hear another girl in the lobby, I'm like, that's my bestie. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but I'm like, this is my girl. I will hype her up. Everything she does, I will like. That is my new BFF. And I just found it funny when Brogy Wack was like bringing that up, and he. Oh yeah, I don't really hear girls talk much until we play together, and I'm like, okay, so it's not just me that's like this, and it's not just you, Sky, and yeah. Before we move on, the chat has one very important question. Okay. I want to hear if Dolya thinks Zarya has W Riz or not. W Riz, so that's like, do you think Zarya is like charisma, and how would you guys explain W Riz?
Is Zarya good at flirting? Does she get other
I think she's got a good sense of humor, doesn't she? Doesn't it? There's no cheekiness about her.
Yeah. So she has W Riz.
Well, I think
W
why
Riz.
not, you know? And she's cheeky. And she's. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think?
I think she absolutely.
I think she is
100%.
cheeky. That's a good way to put it.
Cute as well,
confirmed.
isn't she?
All right, you heard it here first, guys. All right, now moving on to the disagree side of the spectrum.
For me, it's a little easier for me to like talk in game because deeper voice. But also, like I've been in this for so long, and like you said, we're desensitized to it. And I like speaking in voice because I'm not gonna let them stop me. And also with the hearing other girls talk, I feel like me talking in voice would make it more comfortable for other girls to talk if they can pick it up that I'm a girl. And I don't know. I just feel like talking would just help with the having a female presence in the video game space.
Yes, I think it's important. You should go speak up, and it's your space as much as anyone's else. And I think also sometimes, you know, probably the people kind of have got used to those things because they think there are jokes, and they're not really. They kind of become too much. But often, probably people don't even mean it so badly, but they kind of think it's funny. But it's, you know, and
They
somehow
think it's
the
just a
culture
joke,
needs to
but
be
it's not.
changed. But the memes need to change, isn't it? That's ugly.
Yeah, it's
Could
like
I-
the same recycled things over and over that they think is funny, and it's like, you're not funny, you're not original, and it's like harmful to you know, just to see a girl and think like, okay, this is just, you know, a joke. She's a joke. Let me just make a joke out of it.
Whoever's just speaking, who answered the last question, I think you said something about like you want to speak to like show like representation and like that there are women here. It's so interesting to me. I work in esports and I run a lot of marginalized gender tournaments across multiple games, and seeing the commentary online, there's so many men who are like, you know, what's the point of these tournaments? Like, women don't even play this game anyway. And it's like, oh, they're there. They just don't, they might not speak, but they're there. 50% of women are gamers. I think 30% of esports fans are women. They're all here in these games. And I hope one day we can get to a point where we feel comfortable enough to talk that everyone can actually see how many of us are here and learn to respect us and our presence.
So yes, speak up, be louder. I love that.
I will not shut up until men stop being sexist.
I'm gonna stand on business,
I'll take your
no matter who's in voice chat.
I just want to say,
Never give up. And it's one of those things as well, you know, we need representation, but also you need a representation as female gamers. And that's partly why I'm doing this documentary. So,
yeah, we love you for this. Thank you for
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
To the 1, to the 1, to the 3. I play easy mode and I play to win. I love to die and I like to BRB. All systems checked out. Group up with me. 2 to the 1, to the 1, to the 3. I'm here to party. GG. A giant gorilla can keep up with me. You